shit going. I said, let's get this shit going.
Man, yo, I'm laughing. My man looked like my man was checking himself, looking like he's trying to be on the GQ cover. Trying to be on the GQ cover. If you see some of our IG posts with the GQI hashtag, know that's him. All right, he trying to be a model out here. I'm just a bummy dude. I'm just a bummy dude with the homeless sweater. You know what I mean? The little cross, whatever, and the soccer jersey, whatever, man.
What we got for the day?
Let's just intro it real quick, man. It's been a little while. It's been the holidays,
season.
Yeah, we've been enjoying ourselves, family, vacation, all that kind of stuff. But we coming back fresh and refreshed. Well, that's not necessarily true. I'm tired as hell, but man, we here. We here to give them some good content. What we got, man? What we got?
So, as you guys probably all caught up at this point, two major cases, has been happening within the past 2 weeks. First case being the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and then the other one was the Ahmaud Arbery case. Yep. So we kind of want to touch on that a little bit and make some comparison, maybe, or to each cases. For those who don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse is the white kid that was, I believe, murdered two people, I think, during a protest, right? During the protest, he murdered two people. So the trial, I think, about last year or 2 years ago. Yeah. So the trial finally happened. Kyle, I believe he was a minor, 17, 18. My man got acquitted. And I think he created a lot of uproar via social media where people felt like, he should have been guilty. Some people felt like he was the trial went the way it was supposed to be. So I kind of want to have your take, if you got a chance to, look into the case. What do you think?
From the things that I've heard about the case, I knew how Frippy was going to get off. I knew how Frippy was going to get off simply due to the fact that there was too much ambiguous facts around it. There was too much about him potentially getting charged, and even the videos that showed him potentially getting charged, and he shot them dead, but there was too much ambiguousness as far as just the culpability that needed to be given to who, like the culpability between him or the victims or whatever you want to call them. Obviously the victims, rest in peace, right? Rest in peace. My bad. I'm sorry. But listen, the simple fact of it is, this is a white kid that came to so-called protect small businesses, as he likes to say. And he's in a county that's mostly, I haven't done enough research, but I'm gonna assume that like most of those counties, the people in charge there are white. There was a white jury. There was an extremely biased-looking judge. The way that the judge was saying kinds of crazy stuff, like trying to stifle the prosecution, being very gentle with the defense. All the elements were there so that he could get off. And when you don't have a clear-cut case to convict this guy, man, what do you think is going to happen, man? Plain and simple.
So, but the thing is, do you feel like justice was served though?
No.
The reason why I'm asking is because it seems like, as I've followed the case a little bit, it seems like he claims self-defense, right? So, like you said, when you look at the evidence, he was in self-defense. That's what a lot of people say, where you could have convicted him of murder because basically one of the guy that passed away actually pointed his gun at him, and he was basically defending himself, and the other person apparently was coming straight at him. If I'm wrong, please tell me, but it was coming straight at him. So basically, he used his gun. So, is it in this case was justice served? And you feel like justice wasn't served, but why? Because if we claim that, it was self-defense, why wasn't he,
No, I didn't say that justice wasn't served, truth be told. I feel that at the end of the day, why people are up in arms about this, plain and simple, is because, let's just say it, man. Yeah, he could have claimed the self-defense, and quite frankly, maybe he got off on all correctly. I even saw a lot of people that I feel are impartial enough, that are black, that'll be on social media, they'll comment on the case and say, I fully expected him to get off. The outrage that comes, right, is simply due to the fact that people like to say, if you transpose a black person in that situation, this ain't even going to be a long process. This ain't going to be 2 years. They're going to lock him up. He's going to jail. That's the outrage that people have over this, right? That's another white boy, that gets
justice,
off.
It's a two-way justice system where it's just like, had it been a black kid, the black kid would have probably been put in jail, no question asked. But now, when it comes to with white kids, obviously justice is being served.
Yeah, they take care of it.
So, well, and I guess that's the reason why I wanted to compare with the Ahmaud Arbery case, where for those of you that don't know what happened in the Ahmaud Arbery case, was a young black man that I think went for a jog.
Plain and simple.
Went for a jog in broad daylight. I don't even know the state. In broad daylight. And I think...
Georgia.
Georgia. And I believe at some point he went in the house to kind of see what was, there was like a renovated house or like a house that was being built, right?
Yeah, there was just a house that was just sitting there. It was empty.
Sitting there, right?
He went there to the bathroom a couple times, what have you, and his neighbors was those individuals.
They were neighbors. Okay, they were
just
neighbors,
people around the area.
They
saw him coming out, and they thought that he was suspicious.
They thought he was sketchy. Basically, they thought he was sketchy. I think those three white men figured they were going to, serve
a citizen's arrest.
Citizen's arrest, right? And of course, what ended up happening is I think a scuffle happened where they started fighting, and eventually one of the guys shot, right?
Shot him, and he's dead.
But I mean, if you think about it, all the three of those people were convicted guilty.
They were convicted guilty, and correctly so, because in that particular case, there was literally no way they could get off because they followed him. The dude was not looking for an altercation and whatnot. They followed him. And that's what really got people pissed off. Like, yo, this guy was going for a jog, and y'all started the whole altercation pretty much.
Yeah.
And that ended up with him being dead. If you just left this man alone, he would still be here with his family, enjoying Turkey Day with his family. So that's the outrage that people have with this particular case. And then on top of that, too many details came out about the way they tried to put this case under.
Yeah, apparently the justice, I think if it wasn't for the fact that he reached the media, they basically, we're going to put the case to rest. But my question that I have now that we analyze most of these cases, what does that say about the American justice system? Like, how do you feel about, and I'm using those two cases to kind of highlight, what is our thought of the American justice system? Because I do feel like white people in America, America, as divided as it is, you have white America and then you have black America. I hate to say it. I really hate that we see the world like that. But for some people, it feels like the justice system is broken. But for other people, it seems like the system is working. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on the American justice system?
I mean, that's a 3-hour-long conversation, bro.
Why make it short?
3-hour-long conversation. But it's exactly what you said. I mean, for some people, it's broken, and for some people, it's not. And it's by design because, quite frankly, let's be honest, the prison industrial system, all that kind of stuff, it supports a lot of corporations as well. And they want to get some people in those to be institutionalized so that they can make money off of them. But in terms of it's also just about your connections and stuff. I think the Ahmaud Arbery case is a perfect example of that.
But isn't it
one
about
of the
money?
guys.
But that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it is money.
It's more so about money than it is about color. Because the thing
it's about money and also putting people in place and letting them know this is our system. This is how you're going to operate within it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But look at the Kyle Rittenhouse case, right? As soon as this kid charged were being they put the charges on him. I think they opened like a GoFundMe. The kid already had like some 300,000 something on him. So is it just a matter of
there's politics. I mean, there's also politics involved, and this is why I always say that this is the West, especially America, is mostly a conservative country, and I mean it's a conservative country, plain and simple. When you look at people will say that no, as generations, the next generation tends to be more liberal than its predecessor. However, if you really think about it, a lot of the ideals and the system that's been put in place is conservative, and the reason why a lot of these conservative parties, conservative policies stick around is because they're supported enough so that they can stick around. And you speak about the GoFundMe. Let's not even talk about that. Let's not even talk about that. Since this kid's got off, where has he been?
Yo,
He's been on
this
all
man got interviewed.
Fox News. He's going to meet
Somebody
Trump.
wanted to give him an honor, a medal of honor.
Yep.
For what?
Yeah.
For what?
Exactly.
He's about to be making.
Yep.
Yo, this is America,
It's
the only place
it's
where he can not
politicized.
only get acquitted from a crime, and he's about to be making money.
Like
the book is coming. The book is coming.
No, but
Kyle Rittenhouse, my story. Watch, the book is coming.
I'm telling you, irregardless of what you think about the tragedy, people died. And should you make someone a martyr and try to build him up for your own political reasons just because he got off and all that kind of stuff? So that's what it is, man. At the end of the day, like, this is a political country, plain and simple. And there are people in the justice system, like the way the judge acted during this case,
right,
kind of tells you exactly that, yo, man, everything is politicized, man. And that's the thing that I also feel a lot about justice, because at the end of the day, man, human beings, we're the ones who dispense justice. There's no such thing as objectivity. I do not believe that.
But
there's no such thing as objectivity. Ultimately, whether it was the jury, whether it was the judge, the policeman, all that kind of stuff, people have their own opinions that are going to seep into some of their actions. And at the end of the day, I feel like a kid like this young white kid is probably going to benefit from that in the system that's in place more than a black kid would, plain and simple.
But I feel like, I kind of want to go back and touch on the money aspect of things, because to me, I want to say, is it a black or white thing? Is it a race thing, or is it actually a money thing? Reason why I said this is because, like you said, as soon as, charges were putting in, money was, they organized themselves and they actually had some money. They allocated some money for the kids. But reason why I'm saying this is because I saw this on Twitter and I thought it was very funny. It's just like Kyle Rittenhouse put an OJ. So he's basically OJ. Well, for those that don't know, OJ is someone who allegedly killed his wife because he found his wife or ex-wife.
Yeah, we're only saying allegedly for legal reasons, by the way.
Allegedly killed his ex-wife because he found out that, she was dating some other dude, and basically, she was driving his car. She was living in the house he was paying for, though. The dude got crazy and basically he shot everybody, allegedly, But he got off. I think it was back in 95 or 96, he got off. But did he get off because he had the right lawyers and he had the money to get out of that case? And that's the same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, where I don't know who paid for his lawyers. I don't think the kid comes from money, but clearly a lot of people allocate some money for the kid. So is it just to me? It's just like, is it more so a thing of money, where if he was a black kid and he had money, or he had an association or group that helped him out, we didn't have got it off? Is it really really a color thing in America, or is it more so
I think it's
a
both.
money thing?
I think it's both, truth be told, man. Because when you're looking at OJ, and it's a really interesting way that you're trying to compare these two things. The OJ case, man, let's be real. First, the prosecution completely messed up that case. They completely messed up that case. And secondly, OJ, yeah, he was a famous ex-football player getting paid by the Hall of Fame. And on top of that, he was on TV.
Star,
He was all that kind of stuff. He had all kinds of endorsements. So he was paid, and he was able to get the best lawyer that money could buy. Shout out to Johnny Cochran. Rest in peace to him. And Johnny
Kim
Cochran.
Kardashian died as well. He's the one, actually.
Rob Kardashian. Yeah, he was part of that defense team as well. So, yeah, obviously money is going to get you the resources that can ultimately help you to your desired result. But at the end of the day, if you still put two people next to each other with the same amount of financial resource or whatnot, one's white, one's black, you can probably guess which one is going to have a better fare.
That is so true.
System.
And the reason why I say this, and sorry, I'm going to bring this on, is because of the Me Too case. Following the Me Too case, the only man that was actually put in jail was Bill Cosby. What is Bill Cosby? He's black. Harvey Weinstein, we're still waiting on that case. Kevin Spacey, I don't know what's going on with that case. A bunch of these dudes, the guy from CBS. I feel like all these guys are settling on the low, under the table, and we don't know. We don't hear about the case no more. But the R. Kelly cases and the Bill Cosby cases, which happen to be both black men, are the one that we hear on the TV, we hear on the media, and they're the one that more than likely ended up in jail. So there is an argument to be made in a sense where it seems like it is a racial, as much as we don't want to look at that fact that it might not be.
But we have to.
No. But the thing is, that's us. But okay, but this is our side, because people can claim that we black. So because we black, we're gonna think that they're gonna think that you guys just say that because you're black. But a white person is gonna be like, no, I'm not saying this is what all white people think, but someone else may think that no, that has nothing to do with race. You see what I'm saying?
So yeah, the thing is, Man, this is a heavy conversation, but I'm happy we're getting there. Truth be told, the thing about race, man, and that people keep saying like you shouldn't look at race, and truth be there are too many problems in this world around race for you to ignore it. Plain and simple. For us to say that you shouldn't look at race. No. The problems that exist in this world necessitate us to look at race. Plain and simple.
Mm.
And you're right. Yeah, we kind of have to, because at the end of the day, we're talking about the U.S., right? The U.S. is 60% white. So if anything is gonna,
80?
nah, it's about 60. It's 60.
Okay.
So if there's gonna be any changes whatsoever, you are going to need some white people that understand what's going on.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Right.
So yeah, we do need to have these conversations. But what you said about the whole Bill Cosby thing, R. Kelly, let's add OJ back into that, man, because we're talking about R. Kelly and OJ. Both those guys got off for first time. They both got off.
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly got off. Shout out to the Boondocks who made a hilarious episode about that. OJ got off. But once those guys got back into the legal system, they made sure those guys would be finished. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean,
and I mean, it is what it is, man. Because if you look at, because you and me, we often talk about these issues, and we say that at the end of the day, in order to understand an issue, you have to understand its historical context. And when you're thinking about the historical context of America and how the American economy was built in a lot of ways, it was built on the back of slaves. And what did slaves look like? They were black. And that mentality kind of trickled down all the way till today, where the prison industrial system.
That's so. Yeah. So it is a heavy conversation, because basically what we're saying is, slavery may not be still alive as today, but it's almost as if the prison system has replaced the slave, the slave system. And what happened? Because the thing is, when America was created, and I oftentimes say this with friends, it's just like America never had any. The goal of America was not to free the slave. So once the slave were freed, basically, it was just like, what are we doing with this amount of black people? How are we putting them back into society? You know what I mean? So to make the argument, so you're right. The jail system, the prison system, is our new plantation, as much as we don't necessarily want to talk about it, because there's a lot that goes down that goes into it. There's a lot of politics, as you said. But it'd be interesting. I mean, we can talk on and on about this, but it's just like, it's interesting. Man, I'm trying to make a point about how, as much as because me, I remember, so when I first moved to America, I never really liked to look at things from a race perspective, from that's a white, that's a black, that's a white and black thing. But the more I started looking at things, the more I realized that there was an actual plan. Like it's as if we need to put these black men, these black men, we need to do something about it. And if you look at just the sentences that we're getting harsher sentences. You remember back in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, black men were putting in jail for things that nowadays. We call it sickness. Like, for example, weed.
Man, they still got plenty of people in jail for weed right now.
For weed right now, with things that we legalize now. Are we going to let these people go free now?
Nope.
You know what I mean? Or drugs, incarceration of drugs in drugs in neighborhoods. The war on drugs, when young black men are selling drugs or are using drugs, we call it thugs or whatever. But then when it's a white person using it, we call it sickness. We call it they have a problem. We provide therapists, we provide solution in space. So America does need to have a real conversation when it comes to its justice system and when it comes to its race. Now, would that conversation ever happen? Or do you think things will ever be put in place to really actually make changes? I doubt, because again, the people that are in power are still part of that structure that that create these slaves, basically. So that's my kind of
in order to change that, you would also have to change the whole economic structure of America. Yeah. And they're not ready to do that. They're eating too good right now. It's Thanksgiving every day for them. Yeah. So and talking about Thanksgiving, well, let's not get into that. But anyway, man.
But it's just like, I mean, let us know what you guys think. I'd love to hear about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the Ahmaud Arbery case, or if any American justice case, American case that you can think about, or justice case that you can think about. Let us know what you think. Be part of that conversation. All right. So. Yeah.